we're going to now open it up to Q&A. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to type them into the Q&A feature down the bottom of your screen. The first one came through from John, and he wants to know, and this is probably a good question for Greg, how will you split your time between the projects? What's your primary focus?
Yeah, okay. So the primary focus is Belararox. I think the fact that it's got all the metals that are in high demand at the moment, which I don't see changing because of the electrical revolution, as it were. Most of the work in the first 9 months will be on Belararox. In the meantime, we'll be doing the planning, drill planning, to go and get some holes drilled at Bullabulling. Those holes will then inform us of how much work we want to spend on Bullabulling. But at the moment, the main focus is most definitely the New South Wales project areas.
Okay, well, that actually ties in nicely to a question that Sandy emailed through. He said, given the WA border closure, how will you progress the Bullabulling project? Where is the exploration team based?
So in terms of New South Wales, we've been very lucky in that the eastern states doesn't seem to have quite the same issues with availability of personnel and technical crews. So we've been able to sign contracts now for all of the work that we've got planned. So we know that it will be done and when it will start. We've got the personnel, local personnel. One of the advantages of Belararox is it is in an area of great infrastructure and an area that has been mined for 100 years or so. So there is good services there. So we're basically leveraging off those services and using all the local technical support that we need. And all of that has been signed off and will be underway very shortly.
Okay, and you did answer this in your presentation, but Zach has said, you said you were pretty confident on exploration finding additional mineralization. Zach has emailed through, what exploration techniques will you utilize to provide confidence to investors that exploration will discover new zones?
Yeah, so I think I did answer it in the presentation.
Yeah.
The gravity for me looks like it could be very, very key, which is why we're starting with that. We will be doing fairly close-paced survey. If that doesn't quite work, then we'll start pushing the electrical geophysics a bit harder, because I'm pretty sure that will work. The magnetic data, as you could see from the presentation, has worked spectacularly. I haven't seen it work as well as this in any other project I've worked on. But it doesn't give you the resolution that would allow you to optimize drill planning effectively, which is why we would like to do. Gravity should work very well from my experience.
Thank you for that. I'm not sure if you can answer this one, but we got a question sent through around the goal for the planned resource drilling at Belararox project and what your sort of aspirations or your targets might be, if you can speak to that, Greg.
Well, clearly no. But given that there was a 2004 resource put out, which was announced by Ironbark, so people could go and find that resource if they like, we're expecting to certainly do as well, if not beat that. We're certainly, with the reviews that we're doing at the moment, we're seeing mineralization in some of the last holes that were drilled that are not in the resource, which will obviously add to that. So I'm confident just by including those holes will increase the resource. Also, those holes are basically look like they've got some of the better mineralization intersected in the project. So I'm pretty comfortable that as we do the infill drilling, we will get more intersections like that, which should then improve the resource as well. We are doing a little bit of drilling outside the resource area. It's not all just within the resource area. And if that comes up, that will also increase the resource. The other thing as well is that back in 2004, the zinc price was probably half what it is now. So we'll be using quite different cutoffs. So the amount of metal that we announce will certainly be much bigger than was announced in 2004, just because of the increase in prices.
Yeah, okay. And I guess it's anyone's. You don't have a crystal ball on zinc prices, but what's your feeling on where they might go?
If I had a crystal ball on that, I wouldn't be sitting here. I'd be there by now. Well, clearly, it's quite interesting that the USGS put zinc on its critical minerals list about a month ago, I think it was, or just before Christmas. I've always thought zinc was a really important metal. It's needed for all of the battery type technologies and cars that people talk about, and has effectively been forgotten a little bit. But it's not an easy metal to find more of. There are not a lot of zinc deposits waiting to come on stream. So Belara offers that opportunity. Because it's so well advanced, we'll certainly have a competitive advantage in terms of getting up and running as quickly as we can. So I think zinc has got as good a future in the near term as copper.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Thank you. We do have a corporate question, so I'll hand over to Arvind on the capital structure. How much of the company do management own? And then I've got another question after that. So.
Yeah, 30% between board and the management. It is approximately that between board and the senior management. Yeah.
And we've got another question on the chat saying, with approximately 43 million shares on issue, what percentage of shares are in escrow and for how long?
About 12 million shares would be escrowed for about 2 years, and 3 million shares for about 12 months. And that's basically from the pre-IPO and the founding shares that we did the seed at the very beginning.
Okay, fantastic. So almost out of time. Is there any last comments that you wanted to leave? There's a few more questions here, but if anyone has a question that wasn't answered today, please feel free to email me, danica@investability.com.au, and we'll make sure they get answered. The summary of the last questions that were emailed through around the prospectivity and of Belara especially being your primary focus, and people wanting to hear more. Do you have any teasers that you can provide?
If I can probably answer that, Danica, two things I'd just like to summarise is that not only have we signed all the contracts with our consultants to do the drilling and the gravity surveys, but all the approvals are in place on Belara. So we can start effectively tomorrow to do all of that work, which, as Greg pointed out, will be starting this Friday. People are mobilising to site as we speak. So it's all systems go on our lead project. But as far as the corporate strategy of the company is concerned, our strategy is to grow the company and obviously add value to shareholders. So two ways you can do that: organically and via M&A acquisitions. Organically, we've been through that this morning. We've released our work programs, and I believe that they will be very successful. We aren't a junior exploration company. We're very much an advanced exploration company with a known resource, which we expect to extend by drilling and other acquisitions going forward. On the non-organic growth strategy, we'll commence, as in the use of funds in the prospectus, we've allocated money to review various projects in the Lachlan Fold Belt, and we'll commence that very shortly as well, talking to various neighbours and other mining houses. So we have allocated funds for that, and we'll commence that process very shortly. So it's a two-pronged approach to actually grow the company organically and via M&A or acquisition.